Should you grandmother your non-grandfathered health insurance plan just to avoid Obamacare? If that didn't make any sense, that's today's insurance question, so stick around. So you've probably heard about being grandfathered into something, whether it's an old deal that's no longer available or a current deal that's going away that's not going to be offered any longer, and you're going to get grandfathered in. Sounds good and fun and let you take advantage of that when that's no longer available. Well, that happened with health insurance plans as well when the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, rolled around. Plans that were not changed since March 23rd of 2010 were grandfathered permanently and were able to stay in force as long as you, the person who had the grandfather plan, wanted it to be. However, since President Obama famously said, if you like your plan, you can keep it, well, that's put the health insurance companies in a bit of a sticky situation with you, and really they had to kind of alter their initial plans, and they've kind of rolled out this whole grandmothering thing, which is going to let you stick it out, well, it sounds like another year with your current health insurance plan. Just a quick note on grandmas, why isn't it called grandmothering to begin with? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, anytime unexpected good things happen, it's generally because your grandma's got something to do with it. Your grandfather is usually just kind of along for the ride if he's not complaining about something. I mean, so yeah, well, let's just call it grandmothering and let grandfathering be this other secondary thing. You may have already seen your health insurance company send you a letter telling you that you have this new grandmothering option and that you have the ability to keep your non-grandfathered health insurance plan in force until 2015. So the question you're probably asking yourself is, well, should you take that deal? And it's hard to say without knowing your exact situation, but there are a few pretty consistent rules that we can go over, a few questions that we can go over, at least to make sure we figure out what's maybe in your best interest. And the first question is, well, are you pregnant? Okay, well, you might not be pregnant if you're a guy watching this, but if your better half, spouse, significant other, whatever, if they're pregnant and find yourself spending most Sunday afternoons at Babies R Us, accumulating a ton of tiny little socks as you wait for this new arrival, chances are you might want to consider making that switch. Again, that is, of course, if you didn't already have maternity coverage on your pre-Obamacare plan, but even if you did, chances are you did have a separate maternity deductible, and it might be in your better interest just to go ahead and hop over to the new plan that's going to just have one deductible for anything maternity or not maternity related. It all goes to the same deductible. So that might be in your better interest. Obviously, you're going to want to take into consideration the difference in cost that those two plans are going to have. The next question is, will you qualify for a tax subsidy in 2015? If your income will all of a sudden become in range for the government to help paying for a part of your health insurance, well, chances are you're going to want to maybe take them up on that offer. To be honest, it's really hard to imagine a scenario where you wouldn't want to do that. And it's important to remember that there really isn't anything to be afraid of with these new plans. There's a good chance that they have the same, if not more, coverage than your current plan. The only difference, and this is very important, the only difference is that the government is going to help pay for a part of that health insurance. And before you say it, no, stop right there. I don't want to have to pull your foot out of your mouth. These are not government health insurance policies. You're going to be buying the health insurance from the same health insurance companies like Medical Mutual of Ohio and Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield that you always have. The only difference, again, the government is just giving you money to buy whatever plan you want from them. So is that it then? Really, these are the only two scenarios in which you might find yourself wanting a new health insurance plan, an ACA compliant plan, ACA compliant, the fancy terminology for it. And really, the biggest determining factor is that subsidy. If that's there, then that's really the big deciding factor. But the bad news in all of this is that no matter what happens, you're going to eventually end up on one of these new plans anyways. Everyone's going to ultimately have to make a switch over to one of these new ACA plans. I mean, if you think about it, it's really an opportune time to let your procrastination skills shine. Oh, but what about your doctor? One very unlikely reason that you might stick around on your current plan is if you run into the kind of perfect storm of network issues or limitations. While I'm pretty confident in saying that there's a company that will handle 98% of your needs and will take good care of you, there's still a 2% chance that you might find yourself in a situation where you're picking between imperfect networks no matter what company you decide to go with. Well, what's the bottom line? The bottom line is it's a pretty black and white decision to decide to grandmother your health insurance plan or not. In most cases, I would imagine that you're going to find yourself jumping to the front of the line to make sure that it happens. But again, it really comes down to the whole subsidy qualification thing. If you qualify, chances are you're going to happily set that current policy on fire in favor of a new policy that's going to be substantially cheaper. If not, you're probably going to squeeze your current health insurance policy like a 4-year-old child squeezes its favorite teddy bear. So that's today's insurance question. If you want to go a little bit deeper on this and really have a full understanding of what it's like inside of Ohio's health insurance marketplace and what may or may not be a good option for you, well, it's time to go ahead and encourage you to download this very free 5-part video course to walk you through everything that you need to know to make that happen. And ultimately, it's going to prove to you what health insurance plan is going to be the absolute best value for you. Some serious math, I walk you through the whole thing. Go ahead and click on the cover right here to make that happen and start watching right now. If you don't want to click on the cover, you on a mobile device, or you just don't like clicking on these annotations, well, there's going to be a link below in the video's description as well if you want to go ahead and take advantage of that. Of course, I do want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. It does mean a lot to me. And as always, I am Joey Giangola with Giangola Insurance. Take it easy, everyone.